Now, we're going back a week for this next one. We're going back a week for this next one, guys. This is huge. I didn't see this at the time. Oh, this doesn't have a full post. This post is funny, but it doesn't have a full thing. Fuck. Yeah, so, Grom's here, known like, the violence fetishist. Oh, no, right, like, actual fetishist. Like, he, you know, there's a whole Foxy. Everyone knows. Failed video game developer, repeatedly failed video game developer, fat old man, desperate fucking relevance. Couldn't be relevant by actually making anything, so instead decides to cry about stuff other people making on Twitter, because every business venture he's ever had has been an abject fraud and a failure. So, he says that, well, first of all, see my tweet. So I say about Nux, this guy is total scum and one of the few people for whom I'd laugh at any level of misfortune. Doesn't matter how absurdly tragic it is. So, is that wishing death on anyone? No. Is that inciting violence? No. It's me saying, anything that happens to this guy, I would laugh at it. Doesn't mean I necessarily think it's a good thing. Doesn't mean I'm saying people should do it. But I'm saying I would laugh at it. I would laugh at it. Which is, I think, a totally fine comment to make. I think totally reasonable. Yeah, any bad situation for Nux is great schadenfreude for me. Yeah, they want Jews to not laugh, I guess. They just, like, hate when Jews laugh. They hate Jewish joy. You know who else hated Jewish joy? Yeah. So, what does Grum say about this? Leftists wish absurdly tragic misfortune on NuxTaku and Asmongold. The greater the funnier. Let's not mince words. They mean death here. A death they can laugh at, like they did Charlie's. These are disgusting people. So, I did not wish, though, obviously, there is an implication in what I would laugh at that, yeah, extends to that. So, I mean, that part's... I mean, I can't deny that. I can't deny that. But I didn't know this tweet was made. I didn't know this tweet was made until today. Even though it was made like 8 days ago. And the reason I found out this tweet was made... it's from this. It's from our friend, NuxTaku. So,
okay.
What did Nux have to say? Well, Nux saw my clip from the other day. A clip where Nux is saying there should be Nuremberg trials for everyone that was, like, in the CDC that helped with, like, vaccines and lockdowns and all that shit. And he said they should be hanged. He said they should be leaving in their body bag and they should be hanged. Which, obviously, that is calling for violence. You know, you can say it's state violence, but it would not only be extra legal, but it's, like, built on, like, total fucking lies. And, obviously, when you call for state violence like that, when you're calling for extra legal state violence, that the state literally, like, can't carry out, like, it's not gonna, and, like, it would be extra legal, that it would have to, like, rely on, like, some new novel idea to push it through. Like, the idea that you would have, like, novel... crimes made up just to charge COVID CDC people with a crime that would get them the death penalty is fucking insane. When you call for violence in that way, the obvious potential outcome is that someone will carry it out. Is that someone will say, the government aren't doing it, the government aren't going to do it, I should do it. Now, I still think you should be able to say it. I still think you should be able to say it. I don't think that it rises to the level of incitement. I think you should still be able to talk about whether you think something deserves a death penalty or whatever. I don't think it's incitement. Just like I think that being, if you're like a VTuber and you support doxing and you hide your identity, I think that's probably, you know, up there with being a CDC employee during lockdown. I think that's probably up there with being a CDC employee during lockdown in terms of crimes. So while it is not calling specifically for violence, it's not incitement to violence, there is an obvious potential outcome that you're aware of, that you're fully aware of when you say it, and yet you have the audacity to cry about people saying fascist and saying that equates to an incitement to violence. He has gone out repeatedly claiming about how, oh, leftists want you dead. They say all right-wingers are fascists and that fascism needs a bullet, or, you know, punch a Nazi, or whatever fucking examples they call out. He will say all of that is incitement to violence and that leftists are trying to kill you. That's what Nux says. So for him to then go out and pretend there's no implicit call to violence, no effect that could come, no sort of like, you know, increased danger to that rhetoric. It's just fucking crazy. And anyone with any sense can see it. Anyone with any sense can see it. That's why these posts do quite well, I think. Because Nux isn't even respected among, like, right-wingers. Like, they all fucking hate him. It's why he will just never get on conversations where he can't, like, 100% guarantee that everyone's going to be nice to him the whole time. Because, like, no one respects him whatsoever. It's like Chibi Reviews, Tech Tone. Yeah, I don't know who else. Oh, Mutar. All a bunch of, like, lying, despicable grifters. Every single one of them. They're, like, literally some of the lowest subhumans on the internet. Chibi Reviews, the guy who posts, like, constant, like, pedobait shit on Twitter, and then cries when he gets shit for it. Grifted the whole GoFundMe, claiming he's gonna sue people. It's never materialized, and he refuses to answer any questions about. Oh yeah, Rev says Desu, another disgusting low-life grifter. Culture war grifter, that's like a pretty high-level crime as well, I think. That is like an actual, like, crime against the human race. I don't know about, you know, I don't believe in the death penalty. I actually don't believe in the death penalty. But, like, you do, like, fundamentally deserve to be, like, you know, in hell, basically. You know, like, Satan sodomy session, you know. That's, like, the sort of, you know, I don't believe anyone mortal should carry that out on you. But that you do deserve, like, an eternity of suffering. After life, for sure. Culture war grifter is 20 to life at least. Yeah. Yeah, that might be based. That might be based. Do we just imprison people like NuxTaku? Do we just imprison people like this? Do we just throw Asmongold and Tectone? Chibi Reviews? Like lurk camps? Are there any lefty ones that would go in the work camp with them though? Like in the gulag? I don't know if there's any lefty ones really as annoying. I feel like Pac-Man and Hutch are just nowhere near that level, as much as I don't like either of those two. Jimmy Dore? Put Dasher in a gulag? Government-mandated snark camps. Second thought. I just don't know there's anyone that bad. I don't know there's anyone quite as egregious as, like, Nux. That's the thing, right? It's like, Nux is, like, the most obviously dishonest, just, like, no standards, despicable piece of shit. True, it is, like, next level to be a VTuber calling for doxing, to be a VTuber calling for people to be harassed IRL at their workplace, to be a fucking VTuber crying about how the left wants you dead, crying about how the left want to kill people, talking all this Christian shit on Twitter, and then you get on video and you're just like, yeah, death penalty for CDC employees, death penalty for CDC employees. It's, like, totally disgusting. You should not be allowed in polite society. You do belong in a prison, like, fundamentally, really. As, like, a personality, you have the personality of, like, the average low IQ sociopath criminal who should be in a fucking cell. Should be in a fucking cell, you know, getting thrown against the fucking concrete. Just like, you know, imagine NuxTaku, booked, trial, jury, guilty, sentenced, 20 years, federal prison, shit prison, understaffed prison, no standards there. You know, brought in, down, thrown against the fucking concrete. Imagine this. Imagine this. Just if you will, for a moment. Indulge me the fantasy. You know. Put him in with, like, a bunch of fucking Islamists, too. Fuck it, man. Fuck it, man. Imagine, if you will, Nux in, what is it, Abu Ghraib? Imagine, if you will, Nux in Abu Ghraib. So I don't think we've even watched this clip yet. I'm too busy fantasizing about putting Nux in a cell.
Okay, I found it, and I can't even believe it's the same guy. It's the same guy that was wishing death on me is posting this clip of me out of context. All right, so let's watch the clip. Obviously, he doesn't show what I'm reacting to. He just starts off with me talking.
He literally did worse than any country in the world. And the people at CDC who oversaw that process, who put masks on our children, who closed our schools, are the people who will be leaving.
Leaving? All right, so now he plays my commentary, but he doesn't even actually play, what I'm actually reacting to, which is essentially that people knew about the fact that different COVID mandates caused actual verifiable damage and deaths to like thousands of people potentially. So they knew that was happening. They refused to release that information, and they let these children die because they wanted to push an agenda. All right, so for context, that's what I'm reacting to. So this guy says,
like,
"Why you fat autistic?"
I don't even want to go and pick through all the fucking retarded like statements by RFK, but it is like literally fucking nonsense. Literally fucking nonsense. So the argument here, I guess, is the idea that there were, what, thousands of deaths of children due to COVID vaccine side effects as a result of the COVID vaccine being mandated when it shouldn't have been. That's the claim, I guess. That's what he's trying to say. Now, let's imagine for a moment that this is all true. Let's imagine that there were thousands upon thousands of deaths of kids under a COVID vaccine mandate because of side effects. Let's imagine. Do we think the CDC imposed or recommended vaccine mandates because they were trying to kill children? No, that's probably not the case. Do we think it was because they actually thought it had a net benefit for public health? It was actually going to save more lives than could ever possibly be lost due to side effects. It's probably the more likely outcome, isn't it? So, what crime, under any fucking framework, would ever be committed there that could lead to the death penalty? It wasn't like fucking genocide. It wasn't like they were going, we're going to kill American kids, we're going to kill white kids, we're mandating this, we're mandating this. Even under the most absurd conspiracy theory, that's not what happened. You know, RFK's not fucking saying that. You know, maybe Nux will say that. Maybe if I prompt Nux, he'll say that. No one's fucking saying that. Literally nobody. So the idea that you get Nuremberg trials and have these people hanged is fucking absurd. You are just calling for extra legal violence. That's all you're doing. Because there is no framework for the death penalty to be administered to these people. For these people to be sentenced to the death penalty. There is actually no framework. There is no precedent. There is no potential route to that happening. So you are just calling for extra legal violence. I'm not even tapping the table. I've got my mic underneath my arm. It's in a weird position.
Middle-aged men like NuxTaku feel so confident calling for violence from behind the avatar of a cartoon child. All right.
So that is what you're doing. That is what you're doing.
So, cartoon child, fat autistic man here. The fat autistic child.
Yes. Yes, you are a fat autistic man hiding behind the avatar of a cartoon child. Yes.
Child over here, and let's see me calling for violence, right? Because again, calling for violence is pretty bad. I'm very against calling for illegal violence.
So you didn't deny any of that, did you? I'm noticing, Nux. You didn't deny any of that. I'm noticing that you were just called a fat autistic man hiding behind the avatar of a cartoon child. Given plenty of opportunity to say, I'm actually not fat. I actually go to the gym very often. Which would have sounded awesome. Or you could have said, you don't know what I look like. Or anything, but you don't. You just go, I'm a fat autistic man hiding behind the avatar of a cartoon child. Autistic man hiding behind the avatar of a cartoon child. You don't even have a response. You've got fucking nothing. You got fucking nothing. Because you know it's true, bro. You know it's true. You know you big as hell. You big boned. You know you autistic as fuck. And you are hiding behind the avatar of a cartoon child. In fact, this is stolen fan art, I believe. I believe this is stolen fan art, actually. It's actually some you know, other autistic kids fan art of Sans Undertale as a human. And Nux stole that and made that his online persona.
Violence. Fucking kill those motherfuckers! Leaving in a body bag! String them up Nuremberg style! They fucked a generation! Oh my god! Dude, I have people that work in... I have relatives that work in, like, as doctors. There were piles of bodies of people that got vaxxed! Alright? Unbelievable.
They literally...
There were piles of bodies of people who got vaxxed. People were just getting vaxxed. They were just, the bodies were piling up. Where, bro? Where? Please. Please. I would love to know, man. I would love to know. Yeah, literally mass graves for the vaxxed. And they covered it all up. They covered it all up, and Trump has still not shown any evidence. But it happened, guys. But it happened. Trust me, guys, it happened.
Right, so, turns out...
Just like Nux's cousin who died in the IDF on October 7th. Totally happened.
That they knew that they were pushing poison on people and they were dying, and they refused to tell people there were side effects anyway, and they essentially poisoned thousands of people. So what I'm saying is, I literally say Nuremberg style. They fucked a generation. String them up Nuremberg style. Nuremberg style, that is literally a court case. That is a court case where they judged Nazis for war crimes.
So yeah, so how through any of the crimes in the Nuremberg cases would you try any of the CDC? How would that apply? Please explain the application of law here to me, Nux. Because otherwise it sounds like you're just calling for violence. If you don't have an actual case, you know, for how the law would apply, you're just calling for violence. You're not calling for the death penalty to be given. Thank you, Mousky, and thank you, Zion Punk, for the memberships. Huge appreciate. Yeah, you're just calling for violence.
And gave them the death penalty for it. I am calling for 100% legal violence, where they get executed for crimes.
No, you're calling for extra legal violence, because there is no law that could possibly apply here, and you know that. You know there is no law that would lead to them getting sentenced to the death penalty. You know that's not the case. So you're just calling for extra legal violence. It's not legal violence. It's extra legal. If it was legal violence, it would be through the death penalty. It would be through a crime that exists that you could punish them for. But you can't. You're calling for some extra measure to be taken to kill them.
Against humanity. And I even clarify that a few seconds later in this very clip. I'm not going to look for it in the actual video, but I literally specify and say that I want legal violence. I fully support the death penalty. If anyone was asking questions, I'm not alone. So does God in the Bible. All right, so this is
God
not
in the Bible. Yeah, in the Old Testament, bro. In the Old Testament, we know.
Alone. So people that directly poison a generation, knowingly caused thousands of deaths because they refused to talk about side effects for vaccines when they knew that people were going to die because of it just to push their fucking agenda. Yeah, I think that's crimes against humanity. So if you're going to take this out of context and make it look like I'm calling for violence because I'm calling for people to be given the death penalty in a trial for crimes against humanity, you're retarded. So this out of context clip, again, it's another reason for people to... I'm shocked. I can't believe it's the same guy. The same guy that was laughing
there's no crime you can punish him under. There's no crime you'd give him the death penalty under. You're just calling for violence. And you know you are.
Any level of misfortune. But anyway, anywho, whatever. I get lots of death threats. This is not new.
How's it out of context at all? All the context was there.
It's the old thing, but it's also the new thing because now they actually kill people.
Like Nux, he totally didn't just play a clip of himself calling for violence. Obviously, that was totally different. That was totally different. He totally didn't just show a clip of himself calling for violence just in that very same moment. That was actually totally different for reasons. Reasons. So, what else has this scumfuck been up to? Well, thank you, Malsky, for the £5. Legal violence would include the you know, that thing that happened. The thing that happened like almost 100 years ago. As it was legal under Nazi rule. The bad J time. Yeah, that one. Reminds me of that tragedy. Okay. So what's happening here? NuxTaku does not believe Gazans are starving. Oh well, pack it up, I guess. Send the aid trucks back. Never mind the famine reports. Never mind the famine reports. Send the aid trucks back. Nux has said they're fine. He saw a video of a chubby little Gazan. Nux wants all the aid directed to his house. It's facts. It's just crazy. Like, he just does, like, straight up, like, it's just genocide propaganda. Like, Nux wants Palestinians genocided, and he will do anything he can to whitewash the killing of them. That's the only conclusion you can come to from his content, if you, like, have any understanding of the topics he's talking about. He wants them to die. He wants that type of person to be killed. That is the only reasonable conclusion.
So, in case anyone cared about actual starvation, there are 25 million people starving in Sudan right now, but no one cares, obviously. Literally no one cares. It's heartbreaking.
Legal
it's
violence would include the Holocaust, as it was legal under...
Whoa! Why read that one out? Whoa! No need for that.
Unbelievably heartbreaking. Why are you talking to me about Gaza when there's literally a starvation in Sudan happening? So, in case anyone cares, lots of young children are lined with the Hamas inside Gaza right now, awaiting the transfer of the hostages. None starved. Pretty weird. Pretty weird. If
you've just looked at this and determined, oh yeah, none of these kids have any malnutrition. I can see these kids are totally fine. I can see these kids are fine. I've seen 4 kids, so they're not starving. Like, yeah, first of all, like, I mean, there's a lot of shit going into this. Like, yeah, there probably is some level of inequality. Like, some people are probably more well-fed than others, especially people who are always in the south of Gaza. I imagine haven't had as much issues with their living situation or anything like that. Like, yeah, there is a variance in access to food, I imagine. But you've seen 4 kids, and you've got no way of telling whether they're fed or not. You literally can't tell from this photo. I would be willing to accept that maybe you could find pictures of kids that are pretty well fed in Gaza. Like, I would be willing to accept that. That might be possible. But that doesn't discount the idea of it being a famine. And you've only got 4 kids here, and you can't tell anything about their state of nutrition. So you just want them to die. You're just upset that you're basically upset that they're not more starved. You're like, oh, why do people care? They're not even dead yet. Not even dead yet. Why do you care? Yeah, and yeah, as we all know, Nux is something of a what would you say? A patrician, a curator of pictures of children. You know, he's like he got quite a refined palette for pictures of children. So I'm shocked that he managed to only find a picture of 4. A connoisseur of children, of pictures of children. So I'm shocked that he only found a picture of 4 children. You know, I thought if there was one thing we could rely on Nux to find, it was images of children. But he seems to have failed us today.
Actually pay attention to the actual images coming out of Gaza and not just what you're being told by, let me just remind you, there are billions of Muslims in the world. Basically, the vast majority of them are more than happy to see Israel wiped out. Are you really surprised that propaganda is at an all-time high when everyone has access to the internet? Like, come on, dude. What are you even talking about?
So, imagine you say this about Jews. Imagine, just swap Jew for Muslim in that sentence. Just swap Jew and Muslim in that sentence. How fucking crazy would you sound? How fucking anti-Semitic would you be treated? You would be like, everyone would be like, you are an insane anti-Semite. You're going fucking crazy. Like, you go, think how many Jews there are in the world. They would be more than happy to see Muslims just wiped out. So of course there's a lot of propaganda. Yeah, all those Jews in the world, they just want Israel to expand and have their territory. So of course there's so much propaganda. But no, Nux sees no issue with it when it's against Arabs, obviously. Because, you know, he's a despicable, low-life, bloodthirsty racist. So, guys, you may remember, Nux had, like, a whole drama at one point where he, like, called Tiger, the gay little boy VTuber, a pedophile without sufficient evidence. Especially considering Nux himself is a huge fan of animated children. Without sufficient evidence. And eventually it had to walk it back. He actually did a video with Critical. Kind of relevant, kind of timely. He said it too moist Critical. That's why Tiger was so upset, was because his name was besmirched. Yeah, Tiger is the diaper P shooter. Yeah, that. No, they're still on the internet. They're still on the internet, unfortunately. I saw a horrendous piece of art on my timeline the other day. So, basically this... Nux called this guy a pedophile, and, you know, there's an argument. But Nux didn't have enough evidence, and Nux said it, and had to walk it back. He's done it again. He's done it again. And... this time, I think it's probably worse. I'd probably say it's worse this time. Because my understanding is that this Nyara person, this is like, this Nyara person is a VTuber, trans VTuber, I believe. That is like the locale for all of these Asmongold and Nux and all these types. Who will basically just make videos arguing like the most retarded trans kids, you know, perspectives or whatever. And they all just farm it. I've never watched more than a minute of content about this person at a time. So I'm going purely off of context clues. However, I did see on Twitter, about a week ago, some grooming allegations go out against this Nyara person, and then be retracted very soon after. I saw Kirsch, I believe it was like, it might have been from a KF post or something. I saw Kirsch peddling some grooming... I believe it was Kirsch. I'll say that. I'm not 100%. I believe it was Kirsch. Peddling some grooming allegations. It was. Thank you, Apostle. Peddling some grooming allegations against Nyara. And then retract them shortly after and say there's actually no evidence, they're fake. And it was from KF. Thank you. Saying there's actually no evidence is fake and it's retarded. And, you know, we shouldn't push false allegations. You know, even if we don't like the person, we shouldn't push false allegations. Not just because it's bad for the person, but because it's bad for victims. And if this person ever does become a pedo, then no one will believe it. It'll be Boy Who Cried Wolf. And all this sort of shit. So I'm basically fully reneging on it. Nux has decided to take a different tack, it appears. Nux has decided to just outwardly lie, I guess. So let's see.
Are at war. Right, so this is Nyara, someone that likes grooming children, as far as I understand it. Are at When he asked me about Taiga, I said...
Oh, this is the Tiger clip.
I don't know the full story, but apparently he's a pedo. I was wildly irresponsible making...
So it's literally like 1-to-1, dude.
War. Right, so this is Nyara, someone that likes grooming children, as far as I understand it. Are at war. Right, so this is Nyara, someone that likes grooming children, as far as I understand it. Making a claim like that, as there was not sufficient evidence for that. I said, I don't know the full story, but apparently he's a pedo. Are at war. Right, so this is Nyara, someone that likes grooming children, as far as I understand it. I was wildly... I said, I don't know the full story, but apparently he's a pedo.
Oh, man. It's just, like, so blatant. It's so fucking blatant, bro. It's no principles, only cares when he gets caught, just does what he has to do to keep Mutahar and Umpiville on side. Just like the, you know, if Mutahar and Umpiville say, we can't be friends with you unless you do this, Nux, he'll go and do it, you know, he'll go and begrudgingly get on stream and make a statement. But if not, no principles, fuck it, who cares? It's so embarrassing, bro, it's actually so embarrassing.
I was wildly irresponsible making a claim like that, as there was not sufficient evidence for that shit. The DMs that were leaked were not of that shit. And 2 months later, Taiga was exonerated of the grooming allegations by a private eye that he hired, and I...
What's your beef with Umpaville? Dude, and he falls for this stupid document too? Dude, I forgot how stupid Nux is. Like, even this exoneration document is fucking retarded, and it's probably written by the Bungo Tiger, one of his friends. So I don't... The idea that he cites this document as the vindication is, like, so fucking retarded. No, there just wasn't enough evidence in the first place. Fucking retard. What should be for the Umperville? Umperville is, like, a pseudo-conservative milquetoast retard who hides his belief and tries to play the line for the benefit of clout. Just a subhuman. Just a total subhuman.
The grooming allegations by a private eye that he hired, and I made a huge up. Without hyperbole, this was the biggest mistake of my career, and I am deeply, deeply sorry for spreading misinformation and for causing any undue hate to be sent Taiga's way. I am sorry for how I handled that. I'm sorry for how I said it. I have tried to do better since then, and I will continue to try to do better in the future. When he asked me about...
Oh my god. I will try to do better in the future. Dude, he's such a pussy. Because here's the thing, it'd be easy to be like, oh, you're like disgusting, you said you were trying to do better and you're obviously not. But no, it's like it's just a total fucking pussy. Because the only reason he did that was trying to appease his friends. Because he's just desperate to keep on to some friends. So embarrassing.